Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter.
Amazing.
Wonder how word gets about sometimes.
A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Nice to have it sometimes.
I don't know what that meant, but it can't mean literally. Because there's an awful lot of rich people that
Are not happy.
Or
are
miserable.
not happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they want more. It's never seems
Like
never
a
be enough.
disease.
And the chances of them going to kingdom is very slim.
Yeah.
I wonder why they worded this about the bed chamber.
About
Yeah.
speaking in the bedchamber.
Yes, 20
Not in your bedroom.
What,
or of your.
what
bed.
verse?
Do not, verse
20.
20, do not curse the king, no, not even in your bed, in your thoughts. And do not curse the rich in your bedroom, because a bird from the air will carry the voice, carry what you said. And that which has wings will recount the matter
It
to
just,
somebody else.
but it just seems weird.
Well, it sounds like pillow talk. to
Could be
me.
a parakeet outside your windowsill.
Right.
Yeah, but did you ever notice how that a paranoid person will get it out of you, what you said about them? Or done to them, or whatever they have against you.
A paranoid person will imagine you said something when you never even
Yeah.
thunk it.
I'm saying,
Exactly.
That's true.
There's a lot of knowledge in this, but
Yeah, this is not the kind of
This is
thing you read one time and go on your merry way. You have to return again and
Yes.
again and take another crumb or two so you can mull it over a bit and taste it and see that it is good.
dead flies cause the ointment
It's
of
stink.
the apothecary. What's
An
apothecary?
apothecary is someone who makes perfumes.
Right,
And if you got dead flies in the ointment that you're making into a perfume,
yeah.
it's gonna stink.
The old pharmacies
Yeah,
used to
they
be
used to use
apothecaries.
Apothecaries for
Old, I'm
farmers.
talking
Right.
about in the late 1800s.
So does a little foolishness cause someone that has a reputation for wisdom and honor? Makes him stink.
A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left.
The right hand is the strong hand. Well, I mean, not putting any ill, I'm not dissing any southpaws, believe me.
It's the normal.
It's how it's
more-
perceived here.
you
Yeah.
better not.
You're the only one in your right mind, Howard.
You're left-handed too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
We won't hold it against you.
When I get cold, I'll hold it against me.
There you go.
I'm not sure.
A fool also is full of words. Verse 14,
Constantly blabbing.
a man cannot tell what shall be or what shall be after him. Who can tell him?
Who can tell a babbler anything? Because he won't hear you because his mouth is open. I used to tell my kids, when your mouth is open, you shut your eyes and ears.
Well, I had a school teacher one time and she said, You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. She
Yeah.
says you're supposed to listen twice as much.
That's good.
Yeah, nobody does that.
As old Chuck says, shut your pie hole.
Now, verse 10, it says, "The iron be blunt and you do not whet the edge." Now, there's an example of old fashioned English, and some people might not know what that is. Or that's essentially sharpen the edge is what he's talking about there.
Talking about an axe or a medic, yeah.
That way he doesn't have to apply as much. Obviously, if you got a dull blade and you're trying to chop through something.
Takes a lot more strength,
A
yeah.
lot more strength and a lot more repetitious blows.
But wisdom is profitable to correct. Surely a serpent will bite without enchantment.
And a babbler will speak without any kind of enchantment as well.
And babbler is no better. Anybody got anything else on this?
What's that mean about the serpent? Does that mean he'll bite you without being provoked?
Well,
Verse 11,
a serpent's going to bite if it feels it's provoked, but you how over in the Middle East, you've got these cobras and they sway back and forth, and you got
Snake handlers.
that little horn thing going on, and it's all some kind of an illusion, and the snake is simply following the motion of the thing that's in front of it like this.
Right.
And the passerby, the looker on is going, he's got that thing enchanted. Look at him, make it move.
but see, yeah,
The flute.
Right. Whatever they call that thing.
yeah, see, that kind of makes them docile, so they're not gonna be like striking at that while they're being enchanted like that. That's kind of what it means. The serpent will probably bite if he's not being enchanted, in other words. But if he's being enchanted, then you're probably safe.
If its attention is not focused upon something particular other than biting you, then he'll probably bite you.
I think there's a saying, isn't there, that about the
All right,
music
Tim.
will calm the heart of a beast.
Chapter 11. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7, and also to 8. For thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if the tree falls towards the south or towards the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not weep. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child. Even so, thou knowest not the works of Elohim who maketh all. In the morning sow thy seed, in the evening withhold not thine hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. Truly the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. But if a man live many years and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. Rejoice, young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things Elohim will bring thee to judgment. Therefore remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity.
We're sounding like Solomon.
It is Solomon.
Figured he. wrote
Probably what it sounds
Ecclesiastes.
like.
Yeah, that's why it sounds like it.
Mhm. All is vanity.
As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child. That's amazing.
It is a miracle. That's all these scientists finding out. They can't find out always.
Even so, thou knowest not the works of Elohim who maketh all.
That thought pattern matches the part in John chapter 3 about the born again, about the Spirit does what it will, and you don't really know, and it kind of matches this one about the way of the Spirit. But I wanted to look at the first verse. It says, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you shall find it after many days." All right, it says, "Give a portion to 7, also to 8, for you know not what evil shall be upon the earth." Now, to me, that sounds like, it kind of sounds like generosity. In other words, like if you're kind of feeding you're throwing it on the water, which means that you don't really have it. You're throwing it out there for a need, and you're counting on Yah to bring it back because you later in that portion amount, because you don't know what evil is going to befall on the earth. You see.
Yeah, I think Yeshua addressed that same thing, and I'm looking for it now. Remember, he said something about make friends of the mammon of the world, so that when you fail, you'll have a place to live eternally, or so to speak. And I think this is talking about that.
Yeah.
You know, to give you do wisely. Don't hoard all your riches. Give to those that you know that need it, or whatever, and it's going to come back to you. I see it happen at the shop every day, all the time. When you do good to people, it comes back to you all the time. I don't do it for the sake of getting things back. I do it because it's in my heart to do, and I see the reward happen as a result, and it makes people better and more appreciative as well.
Yeah,
Maybe they turn around and redo it.
Right. Reminds me of, on the way down tonight, we stopped at the drugstore. And we had the coupon for like 40 cents off, 40% off that was gonna expire. And I happened, I was doing the transaction, and this guy that was kind of shaky was walking by, and I couldn't help but to just pull up my funds. And we hadn't been really doing that great lately, but we've been doing okay. We've been getting blessings. Uncle Buddy's put me to work. So anyway, this guy goes, he goes, "Can you buy me something to eat?" I'm thinking, oh man, I just accumulated a little bit now. I says, but I gotta do it. So I said, well, what do you want? He just went and got some cookies and that. So I took care of it. I figured, well, it comes in, goes out, comes in, goes out, try.
That
Yeah.
mammon of unrighteousness thing is in Luke chapter 16. And this is where the servant he talks about the servant, the steward of a master. And there was a certain rich man who had a steward. That same steward was accused to the rich man that he had wasted his goods. And the rich man called the steward to him and said to him, "How is it that I hear this about you? Give me an account of your stewardship, because you may not be any longer steward." The steward said within himself, "What am I going to do? My master takes away from me the stewardship, and I can't dig. I can't beg. I'll be ashamed to do that. Here's what I'm going to do. When I'm put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their houses." He calls every one of his master's debtors to him, says to the first, "How much do you owe to my master?" He said, I owe him 100 measures of oil. And the steward said to that man, "Take your bill, sit down quickly, and write 50. He said to another, "How much do you owe?" And he said, 100 measures of wheat. He said,